Hey, how we doing? My name's Matt Roy, and this is a little bit of Hump Day sports conversation. We have some hot seats, some cold pizza, and I'm going to talk about a little bit about sports and the hot topics in the world of sports today. Today, we're going to go over a little preview of the NBA Finals, preview of the NHL Stanley Cup Finals that are going on tonight. Got Tiger Woods, we got Bryce Harper, Bay Area Brawls, we got MLB Power Rankings, we got it all today. All right, let's get right to it. So for the NBA Finals this year, we have maybe the best trilogy since Star Wars. Maybe. I mean, the NBA Finals, the NBA season really has been a wash and has been ultimately crappy. The NBA playoffs have been ultimately crappy. There's been blowouts, there's been non-competitive games, and the Warriors and Cavs are both 24-1 combined going into the finals. So this matchup has seemed rather like a foregone conclusion from the outset of the season. Last year, the series went to 7 games after the Warriors won 2 years ago, and the Cavs beat the Warriors after being down 3-1. That's where the everlasting joke, the Warriors blew a 3-1 lead, comes from. Draymond Green kicked someone in the ding-ding, and he got ejected. He got suspended, and the Cavs came back and won. In that series, Kyrie Irving played really, really well. But ultimately, Kyrie Irving has been kind of not a non-factor, but he's been more inconsistent this postseason. According to ESPN's BPI, the Warriors have a 93% chance to win the title this year, and they only give the Cavs a 7% chance. I would probably agree with those numbers. The Cavs took the Warriors to 7 games last year and won, but look what the Warriors did. The Warriors let Harrison Barnes go and basically swapped him for Kevin Durant, which is number 2 or 3 best player in the NBA. I mean, you can swap him and Kawhi Leonard if you want. That's ultimately doesn't matter. And if you look at the starting lineups, you'd give the edge to Curry over Irving. You'd give the edge to Klay Thompson over J.R. Smith. Yes, you'd give the edge to LeBron over KD because it's LeBron. He's the best player in the NBA, and he's proved that this season. You'd give the edge to Draymond Green over Tristan Thompson, and you'd give the edge to Kevin Love over Zaza Pachulia. Yes, that's a big edge right there. Kevin Love is playing probably his best basketball in the tenure that he's been with the Cleveland Cavaliers. But ultimately, you have to look at the Warriors team as a whole. On the bench, they have Andre Iguodala. They have Sean Livingston. They have people that have been there before, and they have people that have won like that before. They didn't lose very much. They lost Andrew Bogut and Harrison Barnes from last year's team. And if I would argue that if Draymond Green didn't kick people in the ding ding, they probably would have been back-to-back champs. That's my argument, but we can't change the past, and no one will ever really know. The Warriors are, when they have their full plethora of superstars, which is Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry, and Draymond Green, are beating people by an average of 14 points. They're scoring 118, and they're 27-1 in their last 28 games. Yes, they have their flaws. They can't all be on the floor at the same time. We don't really know who's going to take the last shot for them if need be, but I don't really think it's going to come down to that. The Warriors just have too much firepower. LeBron will win 2, maybe 3 games in this NBA Finals. 2, maybe 3. But I don't see a scenario where LeBron and the Cavs win this. If they win, it would do a lot for LeBron's legacy. It really would. He would be right there neck and neck with Michael Jordan for the greatest of all time, the GOAT of the NBA playoffs and the NBA franchise, the NBA association as a whole. But I don't see it happening. LeBron's going to have a good series, but Andre Iguodala, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, Zaza Pachulia, Sean Livingston, it's all going to be too much. I just don't think that the Cavs, as good as their roster is, which is phenomenal, and they are a fantastic team, the best team in the Eastern Conference by far. The Warriors are just head and shoulders above them, above everyone in the NBA, really. And that's what's created the competitive imbalance that a lot of people are worried about. But I see this going 6 games. I see the Warriors winning in 6, and the ones that they win, game 1, I don't really think it's going to be that close. I think the Warriors are going to come out. They're going to smack LeBron and the Cavs in the mouth, and they're going to put them on their heels, and people are going to really start believing that this is the best team, one of the best teams that the NBA has ever seen, let alone the best team this season. So that's my prediction. Warriors in 6, and I can't wait to see the first game tomorrow in Golden State. But Warriors win big. That's my prediction there. Next up, we're going to talk about the Stanley Cup Finals. The Nashville Predators and the Pittsburgh Penguins, not Pirates, that's baseball. Penguins are going at it in Pittsburgh again tonight after the intense game that happened on Monday. Nashville went down 3-0 early, but came all the way back. They tied the game 3-3, and then the Penguins pulled it out with 2 goals in the final 4 minutes of regulation to clinch that game and take a 1-0 series lead over Nashville. The thing that jumped off of the page, though, was the Penguins really didn't play that well. It jumped off the screen as well. The Penguins, they got up to an early lead, and the reigning Stanley Cup champs, they looked good at the beginning, they looked good late, but in the middle, they went 37 consecutive minutes without getting a shot on goal. They only had 12 shots on goal the entire game. How you win a game like that, only Pittsburgh knows. Nashville came out of that game knowing that they should have won, knowing that they had the opportunity to steal a game in Pittsburgh. With 26 shots on goal, they won the giveaway battle, they won the turnover battle, they won every important statistic that you can, and they came out of the game with an L. That is going to bug them, and that might haunt them coming up into the next games. So tonight they face off in Pittsburgh, and Nashville's going to try and get a game in this series. They're trying to win their first Stanley Cup, and the Penguins are trying to win their second in a row. Sidney Crosby, this will be his 4th, and he'll start getting up into the upper echelon of greatest hockey players of all time. No one's ever going to pass Wayne Gretzky, but still. In my prediction for this series, I forgot to post it on Sunday, and it looks even worse now. But I have the Nashville Predators winning their first Stanley Cup in 7 games. The hockey series, there's usually not very many sweeps. There's always a lot of games going on. It's going to be a competitive series. It's going to be hard fought. Nashville's going to grind it out, and Penguins are not going to go down easy. Ultimately, it could come down to experience, which Pittsburgh would have the edge. But I think it's going to just come down to pure heart. And Nashville's got that. Nashville's got the heart to win. They've got the competitors to win, and they've got the players to win. So I see the Nashville Predators winning in 7 games. And it's going to be an exciting series to watch. I can't wait for tonight. So next up, I'm going to go over the MLB Power Rankings that I had set down on Monday that I wrote. I'm just going to go over them pretty quickly. If you want to see the full rankings, they are on MatthewRoyJournalism.com on my blog. You can also go to my Twitter, which is at Matt_Roy81. You can go to my Facebook, Matthew Roy. You can go to my Instagram, which I believe is MattRoy81 as well. But just real quick, we're going to go over that. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have in this order the Astros, Rockies, Nationals, Dodgers, Diamondbacks. You'll notice that there's 3 NL West teams in that top 5, and that's because they're 3 of the best teams in the major leagues. The Rockies are having a phenomenal season. They're hitting the ball out of the ballpark. They have the offense to take them to the World Series. They just, I'm not sure if they have enough pitching. They're getting great rookie starting pitching right now. Out of their first 52 games, they had 29 games started by rookie pitchers, and they were 18-6 in those games with a 3.36 ERA, and that's phenomenal if you're going to get that production from the rookie starting pitchers, especially with their best pitcher John Gray on the DL right now. Then I have the Dodgers and Diamondbacks. Dodgers were the incumbent. They were looking like they were going to come in this year and just blow people away. I'm surprised at how well they're actually playing right now because of how many players they have on the DL. They have about 3/5 of their rotation on the DL right now. They also have Justin Turner, Jock Peterson, all those guys on the DL, but they're still in second place. They just got into second place over the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks hit a little bit of a skid. Diamondbacks are playing really well. They're getting great starting pitching from Zach Greinke. Greinke is looking like his Cy Young self that he was a couple years ago. Yasmani Tomas, Paul Goldschmidt, AJ Pollock, Jake Lamb, I believe it's Jake Lamb. They're all hitting very, very well, and their offense is doing a great job. Torey Lovullo, the new manager in Arizona, is doing a fantastic job after in his first season after coming over from the Red Sox. He did a great job with the Red Sox when John Farrell had his health problems, and now he's doing a fantastic job with Arizona. So good job, Torey Lovullo. The Astros are playing obviously fantastic baseball. They're the best team in the majors, and there's really not much to say about that. The Washington Nationals we're going to get into a little bit later because of the Bay Area Brawl that they got into 2 days ago with the Giants. The Nationals are playing really well. Steven Strasburg and Max Scherzer, Gio Gonzalez are all pitching lights out. You have Bryce Harper, who's now suspended for 4 games, but we'll get into that a little bit later. You have Bryce Harper, you got Ryan Zimmerman, you got all those guys that are playing their hearts out and are just they're winning the AL East by a good 8 games right now. So they're looking to run away, or the NL East, sorry. They're looking to run away with it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in this order. I have the Yankees, Red Sox, Twins, Cubs, Brewers. Big shockers there. The Yankees, Twins, and Brewers. The Twins and the Brewers were were cellar dwellers. Honestly, they weren't looking like they were going to do very much this year. They weren't looking like they were going to be good at all, and they're both in the lead in their divisions right now, which is ultimately shocking. I don't think it can keep up because they don't think they have the team, but through 50 games, through a third of the season, they're doing a great job. The Yankees, on the other hand, they're getting great starting pitching, but they're also getting fantastic offensive production from the younger guys. Aaron Judge is leading the league in home runs. Gary Sanchez is hitting the ball really well. They have all these young guys that we didn't think were going to be good for a couple years, but are actually playing very, very well right now. The Red Sox are right behind them. I think 2 games back. They're getting very good starting pitching. Chris Sale got roughed up a little bit yesterday, but that was his homecoming for in Chicago against the White Sox. They're just getting David Price back. They got Drew Pomeranz, who's pitching well. Eduardo Rodriguez, is pitching very, very well and is having himself a very great year. Then they got the reigning Cy Young champ Rick Porcello, who's having a down year compared to his Cy Young championship season last year, but he's a proven commodity, and he's a very good pitcher who will get his shit together. For lack of a better term. Next 5, I got the Indians, Rays, Cardinals, Orioles, and Angels. I put the Angels there before I found out that Mike Trout got hurt. Not before I found out that they got hurt, but before I found out how long he was out for. He's out for 6 to 8 weeks with torn ligaments in his thumb. I'm surprised he didn't hurt his back with how much he has carried the Angels over the past few years. Albert Pujols just hit his 599th home run, by the way. So in the coming days, he should probably hit his 600th, which is it's a record that has been devalued over the last few years because of all the steroids. But Albert Pujols has done it the right way. He's 37 years old. Hopefully, he can get to 700. He needs to average 30 home runs roughly over the next 3-4 years to get to 700, and I think he can do it. I hope he can do it. Albert Pujols is a great guy. From all accounts of his teammates, there's no better teammate in the world. But the Angels are probably pretty screwed now that Mike Trout's hurt. He was having the best season of his career right now. He's second in the MLB in home runs. He's in the top 10 in RBI and batting average and slugging percentage and everything. And without him, I don't know where the Angels go. I put the Rays above the Orioles because the Orioles are not in a good place right now. They've lost 7 of their last 8 games. Their pitching is god awful. I don't know how they're even competing in games right now, honestly, after their hot start. The Rays I put above them because the Rays, if you watch them play, they're actually a good team. They have very good starting pitching. Archer is doing a fantastic job in a renaissance season for himself. And they have the lineup that isn't stacked, but they have consistently good hitting up and down the lineup. The Indians I dropped a little bit because they're not playing that well right now. The next 5, excuse me, I have the Rangers, Mets, Tigers, Reds, and Blue Jays. The Rangers I would probably switch with the Angels right now because of the Mike Trout injury. The Mets, I feel bad for the Mets because they have so many injuries on their rotation. I mean, they have Wheeler who's been injured. They have DeGrom who's been injured. Syndergaard's been injured. Harvey's been injured. Matz has been injured. Everyone's been injured. And a couple years ago, when we were discussing who would be better, the Mets or the Mets with their young, great starting rotation, or the Cubs with their young, fantastic position players. I guess we know who that is because pitchers can't stay healthy right now. I don't know what it is when Cy Young and all those guys were throwing 600 innings a year and starting every 2 days. Well, now they're starting every 5 days and they're getting injured. So I don't really know what's going on there. The rest of the power rankings y'all can check out on my website. It's just the bottom 10 teams. The big shocker there is the Giants are 21. The Giants just aren't a good team right now. They're not playing well. And next, actually, we're going to get into the Bay Area Brawl that happened. And yeah, if you want to check out the rest of the power rankings, go to MatthewWordJournalism.com and check them out there. Retweet it, share it if you want. And that's my latest article. I'll be writing up another one tomorrow. But next up, we're going to get into the Bay Area Brawl. So Hunter Strickland, the relief pitcher for the San Francisco Giants, threw at the hip of Bryce Harper. He threw a 98-mile-an-hour fastball and beamed him right in the hip. It was pretty gruesome, honestly. Like if you threw a 98-mile-an-hour fastball at me, I might come at you too. So Bryce Harper obviously took exception to that. Went out and started throwing haymakers against Hunter Strickland. He threw his helmet. I think it was just to distract him because the throw was really far off. He threw it, Hunter Strickland's here, and he threw it that way. So I think it was just to distract him. But they started getting at it and fighting. And the dumbest thing about it is that Hunter Strickland threw at Bryce Harper because Harper took him deep 2.5 years ago in the playoffs twice. Yeah, twice. 2.5 years ago. That's a memory of an elephant right there for Hunter Strickland. You're going to nail someone because he took you deep. Why don't you do your job and strike the guy out and not allow 2 home runs? But the kicker is that Hunter Strickland got suspended for 6 games. Bryce Harper got suspended for 4 games. Bryce Harper is an everyday player. He plays 9 innings a game, so that's 36 innings he's going to miss. Hunter Strickland is a relief pitcher who got suspended for 6 games. He doesn't compete in every game. He might compete in half of those. So the point is, Hunter Strickland got suspended basically for 3 or 4 innings, maybe 4 outings. Bryce Harper got suspended for 9 innings, 4 games, 36 innings. The Nationals are going to be missing him a lot more than the Giants are going to be missing Strickland, and that's unfair. Bryce Harper didn't do anything wrong. Yes, he shouldn't have gone at him, but a lot of baseball players, if you hit someone with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, you're turning a ball into a friggin' weapon. Like, if Bryce Harper wanted to get back at him, he would have taken the bat out there and started beating him. I mean, it's these unwritten rules of baseball are some things that people just don't understand, including me, because I never played baseball. I'm a football, basketball guy. But, I mean, I admire baseball for the unwritten rules and for policing itself in certain ways, and for the traditionalists really to be against any changes in the game because you don't want to see your game change, and that's understandable. But this needs to stop. You can't just nail someone with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball because you want to. Yes, you nailed him in the hip. You didn't get him in the head. That'd be a completely different situation if you got him in the head. But you don't throw at someone's head. That's no, you don't do it. Uh, but 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, he hit 2 home runs off you, and you're gonna nail him now? Like really, really? Why don't you strike him out and stare at him while he walks back to the dugout? Like, I think that's a better way to show that you're mad or show that you're better than he is. Like, you're gonna get mad at him for doing his job. You're gonna throw at him for doing his job. He's Bryce Harper. He's one of the best players in the major leagues, and you're gonna get mad at him for hitting 2 home runs off of you. Like, grow up, dude. Do your job. And basically, I believe that the MLB should have suspended him for 20 games, not just 6. The Giants aren't going anywhere anyways. So suspend him, get the point across. Suspend Bryce Harper for 4. That's fine. But should have suspended Hunter Strickland for 20. Last but not least, we're going to get into the Tiger Woods fiasco that happened a couple days ago. Basically, Tiger Woods was got arrested for a DUI at 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern time in Jupiter, Florida. He got released about 11 and released a statement saying that there was no alcohol involved. And the big talk was, what the hell's going on with this guy? Does he have a problem with alcohol now that his career has kind of gone down in the toilets? And it came out later in the police report that he blew a 0.00 on the blood alcohol scale on the breathalyzer, which is fantastic. But he also was found asleep behind the wheel. Apparently, he was on 4 different types of prescription medication for his latest back surgery, and that in and of itself, as it doesn't have the negative stigma that alcohol does, or that alcohol does, or that driving under the influence of alcohol does. But taking 4 prescription medications and then getting behind the wheel of a car is not smart, Tiger. It's really not. And I understand that people are ridiculing him for that, but if you are ridiculing him for saying a man that needs help, no, he doesn't, guys. It's just, one can only imagine how this man feels. In 2008, he was on top of the world. He won the U.S. Open on one leg with a torn ACL in his left leg, and he was the best player in the world. 2013, he came back and he did it, and then in 2008, all that stuff with his wife and him cheating on her happened, and all of his personal life stuff happened. But his body's failing him now, and as an athlete myself, I can empathize with that. He is the greatest player. He is the greatest golfer I've ever seen. He's one of the most dominant athletes I've ever seen in my entire life. What he did on the PGA Tour will never be replicated because in that 10-year stretch where he won 14 majors, that's a level of dominance that we've never seen in this league or in this world, really. We've seen Michael Jordan win 6 championships in 8 years, but it's something that's unparalleled, really, especially in golf. And I honestly empathize with him because you can't imagine how he feels when something that he's worked for his whole life, something that he's done his whole life, is taken away from him because of his own lack of ability to do it now. It's not anyone else's fault except for his own body is failing him. And as many times as he tries to come back, he can't do it. And you can't imagine how he feels. Yes, it was wrong. It was completely wrong for him to get behind the wheel of a car like that. And he should never have done it. But there's some things that the layman, the regular person, does not understand. And how Tiger Woods is feeling right now is one of them. And I think instead of ridiculing him, we should be remembering his legacy that he's leaving. He was the most dominant golfer of all time. He might not be the best golfer of all time. That belongs to Jack Nicklaus. But he's the most dominant golfer in a 10-year stretch of all time. And we need to show him that we understand that, and it's really something that is saddening, knowing that this once dominant player will never get back to where he used to be. Um, with that being said, it was very wrong for him to get behind the wheel of a car. He shouldn't have. And if he faces criticism for that, it's understandable. But don't ridicule the man, Tiger Woods. Don't ridicule. Ridicule the man, Tiger Woods. Don't ridicule the player, Tiger Woods, because we don't know what he's going through with that. Well, that is all I have for you today on Hump Day Conversation. Please check out my Twitter feed. It has all my latest articles on it. It is at Matt_Roy81. Check out my website, MatthewRoyJournalism.com. And I will be trying to do this every Wednesday, maybe Tuesday or Thursday. I'll change up the name maybe a little bit. But this is the inaugural showing of this. If you have any comments, concerns, questions, anything like that, feel free to comment below or email me at matthewroy.sports3@yahoo.com. You can also tweet at me. You can post on my Instagram, Facebook page. You can do anything you want. You can contact me all sorts of ways. But check out my website. Check out this blog, or check out this YouTube video if you like it. Share it with your friends. Share it on your Facebook page. I'd really appreciate it. And if you think it's too long, I think it's a little bit too long, but that's, oh well. There's a lot to talk about here. And I like hearing myself talk sometimes, you know. But if there's any questions, concerns, let me know, and I'll try and improve upon them in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.